What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. I've gotten a lot of questions about this particular topic here, so I want to go over them in the most professional way possible. And that means I got a fact paper printed out. A bunch of facts about the Forgeline wheels on my car. Now, I want to start this video off by saying what the video is actually going to be about. Why I chose Forgeline for my wheels on my C8 Corvette Z06 over all of the other options out there. And there are a lot of options. I really want to start this out by saying I am not going to be attacking any other brands. I'm not going to be discrediting any other brands. I'm not going to be doing any of that kind of stuff because that's not fair. The other brands that are on the market are very good wheels as well. But there's a couple things that separate the good wheels from the great wheels. And these are great. Before we get too much into it, I want to address some of the things I've heard online about this stuff. There's a lot of misinformation out there about wheels, about pretty much everything. And it is the internet after all. But the big one that I hear from time to time is that there was another company that started the C8 Corvette wheel game. That is just absolutely not true. If you guys want to rewind back to the very beginning of my channel's existence, one of the very first wheels that existed for the C8 Corvette in general, and in the right offset and everything, was from Black Diamond. Black Diamond, the wheel company that I've chose to work with a couple different times, but not the wheel company that you would hear talked about as the original C8 wheel company. I'm not sure where that started or how that got started because that's obviously very fake. But at the end of the day, if you really want to put a wheel company name out there for the guys who started the wheels on the C8 Corvette, it was Black Diamond. And I'll link some videos up here somewhere that talk a little bit more about that, show you the wheels that I chose on my 2020 C8 Stingray. And those were really the wheels that kind of sparked all of this. If you really want to put a name on it, I guess it's Black Diamond. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. It doesn't matter who started what first. The names are somewhat similar. We got Forgeline, we got Forged with a D, Forged Light, we got Forgeline, we got BC Forged, JC Forged. Everything has Forged in the title. That, again, is not something to talk about as a good or a bad thing when it comes to the wheels. This paper, this is what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get right into it. Why I chose Forgeline for my C8 Corvette Z06. If you guys aren't familiar with the Z06, it is a relatively difficult car to get. It's a relatively expensive car. It's very, very performance oriented. It's very exotic looking. It's very exotic sounding. You want those nice wheels for this car because of the setup. You want it to look as exotic as possible. Therefore, you want kind of that deep dish appearance. Forgeline's got you covered. I have a video that I talked about all the specs on the wheels already, so I'm not going to dive too much into that on this video. So if you want to check that one out, I'll link it right up here somewhere. But ultimately, the fronts are plus 29 offset and the rears are plus 22. That's pretty much it. That will give you a deep dish look and it will fit the fenders perfectly. So let's start with Forgeline versus the budget brands. And I apologize right off the bat, guys. I'm going to be reading a lot of this from my fact sheet here. Now, this fact sheet is not something I typed up. This is actually straight from the wheel companies. So these are not my facts. These are general facts based on these wheels. Forgeline often gets compared with Forged Light. The other brands are often focused on selling to the Corvette market and is priced at an attractive lower price point. Forged Lights typically start around $4,000, while Forgeline, the ones I have without a D, start around $5 to $6 grand. What makes Forgeline more expensive? It's not just because they want to. There is a reason for it, and that's the reason I chose these wheels. That is the manufacturing and quality control standards. You guys have heard me mention these in the previous videos about how this was a big deal for this, how it makes the wheel a better quality wheel, blah, 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 blah. We're going to get into the specifics today. There's no more me just saying, oh, it's a higher quality wheel. We're going to talk about why. But ultimately, the major difference is the manufacturing, quality control standards, and the customization options. You guys know I love my custom options. You always hear the wheel brands say that they make high quality wheels, but what does that even mean? Forgeline proves it by including a run-out value on every one of their wheels. Now, you guys will remember this, whenever I actually installed the wheels on the car, there was a sticker on the barrel part of the wheel that actually talked about the runouts. And we're going to talk about what that means right now. The runout value measures how perfectly round your wheels are. Forgelite's quality control standard is 0.02 inches or 0.51 millimeters. But they often achieve under 0.01 inches and 0.30 millimeters in the final tests, surpassing the industry standard of 0.03 inches or 0.76 millimeters. A lower runout means less vibration when driving at high speeds, ensuring a smoother ride, and especially needing less wheel weights to be perfectly balanced. You guys might remember me talking about that in my previous video as well, about how these did not need to be road force balanced when every other wheel I've ever used has had to be road force balanced in order to maintain a vibration-free 80+ mile an hour drive. These ones did not, because the quality control standard and the runout is so tight, the tolerances are so tight, that this wheel is basically perfectly round. Most wheel brands, especially the more budget-friendly ones, do not reveal their quality control results for a reason. So if you ask these other companies, hey, can I get some quality control reports? They don't even have them. This is the reason. Another way to look at how much time and effort is put into producing a set of wheels is the milling time. Forgelite wheels typically take around 4 to 6 hours to mill on the CNC machine. This gives their wheels intricate design details, typically seen on the sides of the spokes. With the more budget-friendly wheel options, you'll typically see a flat, straight cut down the sides of the spokes. This reduces the milling time down to 1 or 2 hours and makes it cheaper to produce. So again, that extra $1,000 to $2,000 you'll pay for the set of these wheels, this is why you pay for it. The better quality control, the better, tighter tolerance runouts, the higher quality cuts, and we haven't even touched on all of the points yet. Forgelite also uses a more durable, made in the USA powder coat for all of their finishes. Cheaper wheel brands will typically cut this cost by offering liquid paint. We've talked about this in the past as well, guys. Whenever I first put these wheels on the car, my factory wheels, which the factory wheels are also liquid painted, were already starting to chip in the rear from the rocks being kicked up from the front wheels. This is a problem because it's going to continue to happen on any wheel that's painted. These are powder coated. It's a stronger surface. They're not going to chip as easily. They're not going to scratch as easily. They're going to hold up a lot longer. So again, you're paying $1,000 to $2,000 more for these. This is why. The big one for me is that Forgelite also offers customization options. So personal engraving and color fill. So as you guys have seen on my wheels, I actually have it say HPO and it's filled with red while the rest of the wheel is a satin black. Most lower end forged wheels don't offer this option. Right off the bat, I can tell you any of the wheels we've talked about right now, they do not offer customized options like this. So again, your $1,000 to $2,000, this is why. Additionally, the Forgelite company has 4 center cap options to choose from, such as their proprietary 4-piece modular cap that uses the latest 3D printing technology and carbon fiber composites. So my wheel option here with its center cap is a 4-piece center cap that has a real carbon fiber backing plate to it. If you're serious about track use and you want to take these wheels on the track with you, you can actually pop off that carbon fiber backing plate and leave it wide open so there's no issues with heat buildup or anything behind that cap. Again, Forgelite takes their performance very seriously here. Now, these are just some of the reasons why Forgelite costs a little bit more than the other brands such as Forgelite or BC Forged. Their quality is more so on par with companies like Vossen, HRE, and Brixton Forged. Now, if you guys haven't heard anything about those companies in the past, HRE makes some of the highest quality wheels I have ever seen, and their wheels are actually exactly, from what I can tell, identical to the Forgelite wheels. The only difference is HRE wheels are $10,000 plus. So you're still getting a better quality wheel at a lesser price with the Forgelite wheels over HRE. HRE makes fantastic wheels. I have seen them. The quality's out of this world. So are these. So you're saving money and getting customization options and getting powder. I mean, it's just, there's so many reasons to go with Forgelite over Forged Light or BC Forged or any of the other cheaper alternatives. And they're only cheaper by about $1,000 to $1,500. And the options I just gave you, right off the bat, those are easily worth the extra money. On top of everything else I just talked about, I haven't even mentioned the customer service yet. The customer service of Forgelite has been absolutely fantastic. I worked with them, like I told you guys before, for a solid month, almost 2 months, on figuring out what wheel option I wanted for my car. Because I'm not an easy person to please. I want high quality parts for the high quality car. So if I choose to get new wheels, I want to make sure I'm making the right choice and getting the wheel that is going to fit the car the best, it's going to perform the best, it's going to look the best, it's going to be all around the best for me. With that said, the Forgeline SV00 wheels are the ones I went with. They knocked off 16 pounds off the factory forged wheels. They look better, they're powder coated instead of painted, so they're stronger. The forging process is better than the factory ones, so they're stronger, even structurally, and they fit the car better. So ultimately they fit flush with the fenders, whereas the stock wheels didn't. Now the customer service at Forgeline, like I said, was great. They dealt with me for as long as I was talking with them, which like I said, I can be a little bit difficult to deal with when it comes to this kind of stuff. They never skipped a beat. They sent me visualization options, which actually showed what the wheels would look like on my car. That way I didn't have to just guess or try to imagine what they would look like. I could actually physically see them. And that's how I made my choice on it, because I was able to actually see it. And in that process, they'll also guarantee the fit. Basically, if the wheels don't fit properly, you send them back, they'll get you a new set. Forgeline's wheels come with a lifetime structural warranty and an accidental damage warranty, which is really awesome. If you were to curb your wheel or damage it from an accident or potholes or something crazy, they'll replace your wheel at 40% off of retail. So basically, living in Pennsylvania, this is something that I kind of realistically have to possibly deal with. Potholes, curbs, accidents, the wife, you know, whatever it is that might be driving the car that could possibly have a problem with the wheel, I could get them replaced for 40% off, which is pretty freaking awesome. So that's my sheet, guys. So this sheet was just a couple bullet points, again, from the people in the know. This is not something I typed up. These are factual pieces of information about the wheels. I wanted to clear up a little bit of misinformation that's been out there on the internet about it, because again, a lot of good companies out there make wheels. They really do. I've seen a lot of really awesome wheels on the market, and I'm not here to attack any specific wheel manufacturer, but I want to make sure that the facts are known, because it doesn't matter what the name is. If it's Forgeline with or without a D, if it's BC Forged or any of these other wheel companies out there, they all make a good quality forged wheel. I wanted something better than good. I wanted great. And that's where the differences in the runouts and the tighter tolerances of the quality control aspects came in from Forgeline without a D. They have just a higher quality wheel with higher quality powder coating, higher quality options. You got the customization, all that stuff. So anyway, guys, that's ultimately what I wanted to do here. I wanted to clear the air. I wanted to make sure you guys understand why these ones are a little bit more expensive than your typical entry-level forged wheels. This is why. You have all these other options. You have the better quality. You have the powder coat instead of paint. You have all of that stuff. So anyway, guys, the biggest reason I wanted to make this video was for that, and I also wanted to let you guys know that until Memorial Day, if you do decide to go ahead and order a set of Forgeline wheels, you can get them for $500 off just by mentioning HPO. Just go in there on their website, click get a quote, and in the memo section, just make sure you put in there horsepower obsessed or HPO, and you will receive $500 off these bad boys until Memorial Day, and it will drop back down to the normal $250. So if you're looking for a set of wheels, don't wait any longer. Grab these right now, guys. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. So hopefully you liked what you saw. Smash the thumbs up button if you did. Subscribe if you haven't yet, guys. And as always, stay obsessed.